Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy DELRAY Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV, uh, live testimony. P. Diddy on trial. Kid Cudi supposed to testify right now. They have the a psychiatrist on the stand. Let's get into some of the straight game.
Life is like the cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. We're back. Yes, indeed, we're back. Hit the like button, hit the share button. Let's get into it. Let's get into it live. Right now, the doctor's on the stand. The prosecution is doing the direct. And AUSA, why do victims stay? And I guess they're trying to prove why Cassie stayed with Diddy. I don't know if this doctor has interviewed Cassie or had Cassie as a client to find out personally why she stayed and what she stayed for. I think that would be more relevant than anything. Like I said, somebody coming and speaking on you and saying, you know, in a relationship that you were in for 11 years, 10 years, and they're speaking as to why you stayed in a volatile situation, and they have not done any kind of, had any kind of appointments, or you as a client. I really don't, like I said, she's speaking in general terms. AUSA, why do victims stay? Dr. Hughes, there are psychological bonds and the psychological consequences of the abuse. The prosecutors basically say, what are the levels of fear? Dr. Hughes, it ranges from physical violence to butterflies. Butterflies. Violence doesn't have to happen all the time. The prosecution once again asks, what is a psychological violence? Dr. Hughes, intimidation, throwing things, telling you what you can do and where you can go. The defense, objection. Judge, hold on, I'm going to strike that last answer. Once again, you can tell that the lady's been a coach to come in and kind of speak against Diddy, if you will. This is part of the problem. Like when you have like I said, I don't know if this lady has interviewed Cassie in particular. I would think that she would have to had interviewed Cassie, and Cassie sat down with her, asked to speak to Cassie's situation in particular. You know, to generalize what that situation was like, because we seen the video from the Intercontinental Hotel. You know, without Cassie saying what she felt. I thought Cassie's testimony was qualifying enough, other than some doctor who hasn't dealt with Cassie coming and speaking as to what kind of fear Cassie had in regards to what her situation was. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Hit the like button, hit the share button, y'all. We in the building. Now the prosecutor asks Mitzi Steiner is her name. What can be the role of sexual abuse, Dr. Hughes? It puts the victim in significant psychological fear. A prosecution. What does it prevent? Why does it prevent leaving? Dr. Hughes, shame, a degradation. They don't want to think about it. Once again, they don't want to think about it. We're talking about Cassie in particular. Not all abuse or people feel the same trauma from abuse, if you will. Like I said, to be generalizing it as to Cassie feeling something that this doctor is describing. Once again, I like I said, if it wasn't her client, and usually when you speak to psychiatrists and things like that, there's an attorney. I mean, not an attorney, but a privacy clause. In relation to having sessions, a psychologist or somebody like that. There's usually some kind of privacy clause and laws governing whether they can speak about your trauma, your sessions, or all of those things, or all of the above. So, like I said, but this is where we are now, in trying to, like I said, I no doubt in my mind that Cassie was afraid at times, but at other times, once again, we've seen her smiling. We've seen her, we heard testimony in regards to her setting up freak offs and paying the money. The only person that we've heard pay money thus far is Cassie. So like I said, once again, we must focus on the totality of what's going on and not just where they want us to focus on certain aspects of what that was. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to everybody. Like I said, hit the like button, hit the share button. I appreciate you guys being here. We're back again. The prosecutor, what is emotional abuse? Dr. Hughes, putting down our partner, feeling like a piece of crap. The prosecutor, what about financial dependence? Dr. Hughes, the abuses controls housing and transportation, taking away her laptop. Defense, objection, sustained. See, you can see where this is going already. She's implying to the testimony that was given in the trial, and she's not supposed to be doing that, right? She's been listening to the testimony. So when the prosecutor asked the question, she said, "What about financial abuse?" She's supposed to give general terms of financial abuse, like what type of financial abuse and what kind of things he's saying. So when Dr. Hughes says the abuse controls, abuser basically controls housing and transportation, taking away her laptop, the defense says objection's a thing. That's why the judge sustained that, right? Because the prosecution is trying to show the jury that, this was, once again, the key word being used here is abuse, right? Not coercion, none of that. And furthermore, Diddy didn't control anything. Remember, Cassie went home, and she was home, and Diddy allegedly demanded $20,000 for the money that he had put up for Cassie to work with Kid Cudi, right? And so Cassie's mother testified yesterday that she sent the $20,000, and the money got sent back for whatever reason. And so once again, Cassie had her own. Diddy was paying for it, but she had her own apartment, car, and the whole 9 yards. For whatever that was, Cassie's mother was at the apartment when Diddy allegedly took her phone. Now, I think Cassie was upstairs, if I'm not mistaken. But Cassie was allowed to leave with her mother that day and go home and never come back, right? People are, like I said, people are afforded certain types of explanations that they can give, but those explanations don't seem to work for everybody, if you will, right? So what they're trying to make work for Cassie couldn't work for a man. You know what I mean? A man couldn't come and say, well, I was, she had me with the financial abuse, and it's like,